I, 22F, am the youngest of three sisters. My eldest sister Emma, 28F, and middle sister Kate, 25F, have always been closer to each other than either was to me, probably because of the age gap. Our mom has always been intense about family involvement. She planned Kate's entire wedding down to the napkin colors, and Kate loved every minute of it. Mom always talked about doing the same for Emma, and eventually me. 3 months ago, Emma called me crying. She'd been dating her boyfriend Jake for 2 years, but our family never really warmed up to him. Mom thought he was beneath Emma because he's a mechanic and didn't go to college, while Emma has her master's degree. Kate always made snide comments about how Emma was settling. The truth is, Jake is genuinely one of the kindest people I've ever met, and Emma lights up around him in a way I'd never seen before. Emma told me she was pregnant and that she and Jake had decided to elope the following week. She was scared to tell the family because she knew Mom would lose her mind about missing the wedding planning, and Kate would probably make it all about herself somehow. Emma begged me not to say anything until she was ready to tell them herself, after they got back from their honeymoon. I was honestly torn. I knew Mom would be devastated to miss Emma's wedding, but I also understood why Emma wanted to avoid the drama. Our mom has a way of making everything about her emotions and what she wants. When Kate got engaged, Mom literally cried for 3 days because Kate chose a venue Mom didn't like and made Kate change it. Emma looked so happy but also terrified when she told me. She said I was the only one in the family who never judged Jake, and she trusted me to understand. How could I betray that trust? So, I promised to keep her secret. The wedding was beautiful. Emma sent me photos from the courthouse ceremony and their little celebration dinner afterward. She looked radiant. They went to a cabin in the mountains for their honeymoon, and Emma said it was perfect, intimate and stress-free, exactly what she wanted. Meanwhile, at home, things got weird. Mom kept asking me if I'd talked to Emma lately because she wasn't answering calls very much. I had to play dumb and said maybe she was busy with work. Kate started getting suspicious too, asking if Emma seemed different to me lately. The lying made me feel sick, but I kept thinking about how happy Emma looked in those wedding photos. When Emma and Jake came back, Emma decided to tell everyone at Sunday family dinner. She asked me to come for moral support, and I agreed. I could see how nervous she was. Emma started by saying she had some news to share. Mom immediately perked up, probably expecting engagement news. Then Emma dropped both bombshells at once. Jake and I got married last week, and we're expecting a baby in 6 months. The silence was deafening. Mom's face went through about 5 different emotions before settling on hurt and anger. Kate's mouth literally fell open. Dad just sat there looking confused. Then all hell broke loose. Mom started crying and yelling about how Emma had robbed her of the experience of planning her daughter's wedding, how she'd dreamed of that day since Emma was born. How could Emma be so selfish? Kate jumped in saying Emma had made the whole family look stupid, and how embarrassing it was that they'd probably told people they were married before telling their own family. Emma tried to explain that she wanted something small and private, that she knew they'd try to take over and make it stressful. This just made Mom cry harder. She said Emma clearly didn't consider her family important enough to include in the biggest day of her life. Then Kate turned on me. She demanded to know if I knew, because apparently I didn't look surprised enough. When I hesitated, Emma jumped in and admitted she'd told me. That's when things got really ugly. Kate started screaming at me about how I was a sneaky liar, and how could I look them in the face every Sunday knowing I was hiding something so huge. Mom said I was just as bad as Emma, that I'd helped Emma betray the family. She said she was disappointed in both of us, and that she needed time to process how her own daughters could hurt her like this. I tried to explain that it wasn't my secret to tell, that Emma had asked me to keep it private, and I was respecting her wishes. Kate said that was bullshit, that family comes first, and I should have told them immediately. Mom said a good sister would have talked Emma out of eloping or at least convinced her to include family. Emma started crying and said this was exactly why she didn't want to tell them in the first place. She said she knew they'd make her wedding about their feelings instead of her happiness. This made Mom even more upset, and she said Emma was being manipulative and cruel. The dinner ended with Mom and Kate leaving early. Emma thanked me for keeping her secret and said she was sorry I was getting dragged into it. Jake barely said anything the whole time, but I could tell he felt terrible. Since then, Kate has been giving me the silent treatment. She's blocked me on social media and won't respond to my texts. Mom calls me occasionally, but only to tell me how hurt she is and to ask if I'm going to keep taking Emma's side over family. She keeps saying things like, "I guess I know where your loyalty lies," and "I hope it was worth it to help Emma break my heart." Emma, meanwhile, is doing well. She says she doesn't regret the elopement at all, and she and Jake are excited about the baby. But I can tell she feels guilty that I'm catching heat for her decision. Some of our extended family has gotten involved too. Our aunt, Mom's sister, called to lecture me about family loyalty. Some of my cousins have reached out to say they understand why Emma eloped because Mom can be overwhelming, but they think I should have found a way to give Mom some kind of heads up. I'm starting to second-guess myself. I keep thinking about how happy Mom was when she was planning Kate's wedding, and how she's always talked about planning Emma's someday. Maybe I should have tried harder to convince Emma to include them, or at least tell them about the pregnancy first so they could adjust to the idea. But then I think about how peaceful Emma looked in her wedding photos, and how she said it was exactly what she wanted. She's an adult who made a decision about her own life and asked me to respect it. I don't think I had the right to override her choice just because other people would be upset about it. Kate sent me one text last week that said, "I hope you realize you helped Emma ruin one of the most important days in Mom's life. She'll never get to plan her eldest daughter's wedding now. I hope it was worth it." That really got to me, because I do feel bad about Mom missing out on something she was looking forward to. The thing is, I understand why everyone's upset. Mom really did have her heart set on being involved in Emma's wedding, and I know she feels like Emma doesn't value her or want her in her life. Kate probably feels left out and hurt that Emma trusted me instead of her. But I also think Emma had the right to get married however she wanted, and she specifically asked me not to tell anyone because she knew they'd try to change her mind or make it about themselves. I keep going back and forth on whether I did the right thing. Part of me thinks maybe I should have pushed Emma harder to include the family or found some compromise. But mostly, I think Emma knew her own family well enough to predict exactly what would happen, and she made the choice that was right for her and her new husband. The worst part is that this has completely fractured our family. Mom is barely speaking to Emma and treats every conversation like Emma owes her an apology. Kate is still giving both Emma and me the silent treatment. Family gatherings are incredibly tense now. Emma has started declining some invitations because she says the atmosphere is too stressful while she's pregnant. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle. Mom and Kate think I betrayed the family by keeping Emma's secret. Emma is grateful that I respected her wishes, but feels guilty that I'm dealing with backlash. I just wanted to support my sister's decision about her own life, but now I'm wondering if I made everything worse by not speaking up. The situation has gotten even more complicated over the past few weeks. Mom has started involving other family members, calling my grandparents and aunts to tell them about how Emma snuck around behind everyone's back and how I helped her do it. My grandmother called me crying, saying she was heartbroken that she missed Emma's wedding and asking why I didn't tell her, so she could at least send a card or something. That conversation destroyed me because my grandmother has always been incredibly sweet and supportive, and hearing her cry made me feel like the worst person in the world. Emma found out that Mom was calling relatives and confronted her about it. They had a huge fight where Mom said Emma was being ungrateful and selfish, and Emma said Mom was trying to manipulate the family against her. Emma ended up hanging up on Mom, and they haven't spoken since. Now Mom is even more convinced that Emma is a terrible daughter, and she keeps asking me how I can support someone who treats their mother so badly. Kate has been posting passive-aggressive things on social media about fake family members and people who lie to your face. She hasn't mentioned names, but it's obviously about Emma and me. Some of our mutual friends have been asking me what's going on, which is incredibly awkward. I don't want to air our family drama publicly, but I also don't want people thinking I did something terrible without knowing the context. Work has become my escape, but even that's been affected. My coworker and friend Jess asked me why I seemed so stressed lately, and I ended up telling her the whole story. She was really supportive and said she thought I did the right thing by respecting Emma's privacy. She said when she got married, her family tried to take over everything, and it caused so much stress that she almost called off the wedding. Hearing that made me feel a little better, but I still doubt myself constantly. The hardest part is seeing how this is affecting Emma's pregnancy. She's been having trouble sleeping and seems constantly anxious. At her last doctor's appointment, they told her that her blood pressure was elevated and stress could be a factor. She started crying and said she felt guilty for putting me in this position, but that she still didn't regret getting married the way she wanted to. Jake has been amazing through all of this. He told me that Emma talks about how grateful she is to have me in her corner, especially since she feels like she's lost the rest of her family. He said their wedding day was perfect and exactly what Emma had dreamed of, and he thanked me for helping make that possible by keeping her secret. But he also said he feels terrible that their happiness came at the cost of family relationships, and he's been encouraging Emma to try to patch things up with Mom and Kate. Last weekend, Emma asked me to come with her to look at baby stuff. We went to this cute little boutique that specializes in organic baby clothes and toys. Emma was so excited, picking out tiny outfits and talking about how she couldn't wait to meet her baby. For a few hours, it felt like things were normal again. But then she got a call from Kate. I could only hear Emma's side of the conversation, but it was clear Kate was yelling. Emma kept saying, "I'm sorry you feel that way, and I didn't mean to hurt anyone." Finally, Emma said, "Kate, I'm not going to keep apologizing for making decisions about my own life," and hung up. She immediately started crying and said Kate had called her selfish and accused her of ruining the family on purpose. Kate apparently said that Mom has been crying every day since finding out about the wedding, and it's all Emma's fault. That evening, I decided to try calling Kate myself. I thought maybe if I could explain my perspective, she might understand why I kept Emma's secret. The conversation did not go well. Kate answered on the first ring, like she'd been waiting for me to call. She immediately started in on me about how I'd chosen Emma over the rest of the family. I tried to explain that I hadn't chosen sides. I just respected Emma's privacy about her own life decisions. Kate said that was convenient and that I was just making excuses for betraying family trust. She brought up things from years ago, like how I'd always been Emma's little shadow and how I never stood up to Emma even when she was wrong. She said Emma had manipulated me into keeping her secret because she knew I'd do whatever she asked. That really stung because it made me question whether I'd been thinking for myself or just blindly following Emma's lead. Kate also said some really hurtful things about Emma and Jake's relationship. She said Emma only married Jake to rebel against Mom and that the pregnancy was probably an accident that forced them into marriage. She said Emma was going to regret her choices and come crawling back to family eventually, but by then it might be too late to repair the damage. When I tried to defend Emma and said she seemed genuinely happy, Kate laughed and said I was naive. The call ended with Kate telling me that I needed to choose between supporting Emma's selfishness or being a real member of this family. She said if I kept taking Emma's side, I shouldn't expect Mom or her to trust me with anything important ever again. Then she hung up on me. I spent the rest of that night crying and questioning everything. Maybe Kate was right that I was just blindly following Emma. Maybe I should have tried harder to convince Emma to include the family. Maybe I was being naive about how happy Emma really was. But then I remembered Emma's face when she told me about the elopement. She wasn't being manipulative or rebellious. She was scared and excited and trying to make the best decision for herself and Jake. She trusted me with something incredibly personal and important, and she specifically asked me to keep it private because she knew how the family would react. I also thought about all the times I'd watched Mom take over situations and make them about her feelings. When Kate was planning her wedding, Mom insisted on inviting people Kate didn't want there because it would hurt their feelings if they weren't included. She made Kate change the reception venue, the flowers, even the music playlist. Kate went along with it because she likes being the center of attention and didn't mind sharing the spotlight with Mom. But Emma is different. She's always been more private and independent. The more I thought about it, the more convinced I became that Emma made the right choice for herself, and I made the right choice by supporting her. But that doesn't make the current situation any easier to deal with. Mom has started making comments about how she's lost 2 daughters and how she doesn't know if the family will ever be the same. She's been posting old photos of Emma and Kate on Facebook with captions like, "When family meant something," and "Missing the days when my daughters actually wanted me in their lives." It's clearly passive-aggressive and designed to make Emma and me feel guilty. The extended family drama has escalated too. My Aunt Sarah, Mom's youngest sister, called to tell me she understood why I kept Emma's secret, but she thought I should have at least told Mom about the pregnancy so she could be excited about her first grandchild. She said Mom had been looking forward to being a grandmother for years and felt robbed of the chance to share in that joy from the beginning. On the other hand, my cousin Mike, Sarah's son, texted me to say he thought Emma was smart to elope and avoid all the family drama. He said when he got married, the family politics were so stressful that he and his wife seriously considered eloping too. He said I was a good sister for respecting Emma's wishes and not betraying her trust. Emma's been trying to reach out to Mom, but Mom either doesn't answer or keeps the conversations short and cold. Emma sent her ultrasound photos, and Mom just texted back, "Thank you for sharing." No excitement, no questions about how Emma's feeling, nothing. Emma was devastated. Jake's family has been amazing, though. His parents were surprised about the elopement, but immediately welcomed Emma with open arms. His mom has been sending Emma care packages with pregnancy books, herbal teas, and little baby items. She calls Emma every week to check on her and ask about doctor's appointments. Emma says it means so much to have that support, especially when her own family is being so cold. The contrast between how Jake's family reacted versus how ours reacted just reinforces my belief that Emma made the right choice. Jake's parents were happy for them and focused on celebrating the marriage and pregnancy. Our family made it all about their hurt feelings and what they were missing out on. I've been seeing a therapist to help me process all of this. She's helped me understand that I can feel bad about Mom's disappointment while still believing I made the right choice. She said it's possible to have empathy for everyone's feelings without taking responsibility for fixing them. That's been really helpful because I was driving myself crazy trying to figure out how to make everyone happy. My therapist also pointed out that Emma is an adult who has the right to make decisions about her own life, even if those decisions hurt other people's feelings. She said my role as Emma's sister was to support her choices, not to override them based on what I thought other people wanted. Hearing that from a professional made me feel more confident that I'd done the right thing. But I still struggle with the fallout. I miss having a normal relationship with Mom and Kate. I miss family dinners where everyone actually talks to each other. I miss feeling like we were all on the same team. Part of me wonders if Emma's marriage would have survived all the stress and drama if she had included the family from the beginning, or if it would have caused so much conflict that it would have damaged her relationship with Jake. Emma's baby shower is coming up next month, and it's created a whole new round of drama. Emma initially wasn't going to have one because she was afraid it would be awkward with the family situation. But Jake's mom and sisters insisted on throwing her one, and some of Emma's friends from college are helping organize it. Emma asked me to help plan it, and I said yes because I want to support her and I'm excited about becoming an aunt. But when Mom found out about the shower, she was hurt that she wasn't asked to help plan it. She said she'd been dreaming of planning her daughter's baby shower since Emma was born, just like she'd dreamed of planning her wedding. Kate made some snarky comment about how Emma probably didn't want Mom's help with the shower either, since she clearly doesn't value family input on important events. Emma overheard her say this at the grocery store. They ran into each other by accident, and it started another fight. Now Mom is saying she doesn't know if she'll even attend the baby shower because it would be too painful to be treated like just another guest at her own daughter's celebration. She said Emma has made it clear that she doesn't want her mother involved in major life events, so maybe she should just stay away entirely. This is breaking my heart because I know Mom does love Emma and wants to be involved in her life. But she's so focused on her own hurt feelings that she can't see how her reactions are pushing Emma further away. Emma has said she wishes Mom would just be happy for her instead of making everything about what Mom wanted or expected. I've thought about talking to Mom and trying to explain Emma's perspective, but I'm afraid she'll just see it as me taking Emma's side again. I've also thought about talking to Emma and suggesting she reach out to Mom with some kind of olive branch, but Emma says she's tired of being the one to apologize when she doesn't think she did anything wrong. The whole situation has made me realize how complicated family relationships can be. Everyone in this situation loves each other, but we all have different ideas about what family loyalty means and how we should treat each other. Mom thinks Emma should have prioritized family involvement over her own preferences. Emma thinks she should have the right to make decisions about her own life without having to manage everyone else's feelings about those decisions. Kate thinks I should have prioritized preventing family conflict over respecting Emma's privacy. Maybe there's no perfect answer. Maybe someone was always going to get hurt no matter what choices were made. But I keep coming back to the fact that Emma trusted me with something important, and she specifically asked me to keep it private because she knew how the family would react. She was right about how they'd react, which validates her decision to elope in the first place. I just wish we could all find a way to move forward and focus on what should be a happy time. Emma is having a baby, which should be cause for celebration. She's happy in her marriage, which should be something we all support. Instead, we're all stuck in this cycle of hurt feelings and blame that doesn't seem to be getting better. So Reddit, AITA for keeping my sister's elopement and pregnancy secret? Should I have told my family despite Emma's request for privacy? I've been going over this situation for months now, and I still don't know if I made the right choice. I just know that I tried to respect my sister's autonomy and support her decision about her own life, but the cost has been higher than any of us expected.